Hi, I'm Denise Edmonds. I'm the Employability and Guidance Officer at the Lifelong Learning Centre within the University of Leeds. I'm going to give you my top 10 tips for creating an effective CV as a mature applicant. The first thing you need to remember is that you decide what goes in your CV. There is no single correct way to devise a CV, so ultimately you have to decide what you include and what you miss out, and you have to make sure that your CV sells your skills, experience and qualities in the best way possible. Your CV is your marketing document. A CV is effective if when you send it out, you get offers of interview. If you send it out repeatedly and don't get any offers of interview, then that's when it might need some tweaking. Top tip number 2, think of things from an employer perspective. When an employer advertises a job and gets numerous applications, they need to reduce the pile of applicants. Therefore, they're going to read your CV with a view of can they get rid of you. Make it so the employer can't get your CV off their pile. Make it so that it's no longer than 2 sides long, and don't give big chunks of information that make it difficult or time consuming for an employer to read. Make it as simple as you possibly can. Top tip number 3, don't include information that might potentially allow an employer to discriminate against you. Although there are laws against discrimination, at the point where you are just a name on the top of a document, an employer can get rid of your application because of an underlying discrimination, but give it another reason. They could say, oh, they've not got the right experience. Don't give them information they don't need to know. Don't put your date of birth on the form. Don't put any information about disability. Don't put information about race, religion, or sexual orientation. If they need that information at a later stage, you can give them it before you actually start the employment. Or if you need any special adaptations for interview because of a disability, you can give them that information when they offer you the interview. If you are going to not put your date of birth on your CV, then don't include a date of birth or a year of birth in your email address. Make sure that you change that so that it's ageless. Top tip number 4, your personal profile. This is the starting section of your CV, and it should give the unique qualities that make you, you. It should also effectively tell an employer why you would make a good employee. This section is unique to you, so it shouldn't be the same as anybody else's. You might want to ask family and friends to have a look at the draft that you make to see if they could add additional ideas of words and qualities that make you, you. Section 5, or top tip 5, key skills. Your key skills section should change every single time you send out a CV. This is where you tell an employer how you match the skills that they are seeking. You don't have to justify where you get these skills from. If an employer sees that you've got all the qualities that they're asking for, how could they put you in the no pile? Top tip number 6, use bullet points. I would only ever put personal profile in full sentences. Thereafter, I would put everything in bullet points. It's really easy for an employer to skim read bullet points and to extract the information that they need. Top tip number 7, your qualifications section. Don't date your qualifications because they can give you an age. Old qualifications such as O-levels should still be listed, but instead of listing them as O-levels, list them as GCSE equivalents. There's quite a lot of qualifications that are GCSE equivalents, so it will disguise the fact that you have got O-levels. Always do your qualifications section with the most recent qualification first. Top tip number 8, Employment history. With your employment history, the bit that's unique to you is the role that you did within a company. So when you're listing your employment, always put the role that you did first, then the employer, then the dates. As an older applicant, I would never list beyond 10 years employment. So I would put my last 10 years employment history. If there is something that you want to draw the employer's attention to that's very relevant to the job that you are applying to, that was beyond those 10 years, I would list them under a heading of previous employment includes. Then I would give the details of that particular job, and then I would just put the time I was there, not the dates. Top tip number 9, don't use jargon. It's very tempting when you're talking about a job to use the names of the databases that you've used or particular systems that you've used. It won't mean anything to any employer outside of that industry or that employment. So write everything in layman's terms. When an employer then reads it, they'll be able to transfer those skills to see whether or not that particular duty that you carried out would be related to the job vacancy that they've got. And finally, top tip number 10, don't give referee contact details on your CV. If you write a referee's contact details, their name, their telephone number, their email address, there is a chance that an employer could be having a conversation with them about you without you realising that they were interested in your application. To avoid this, always put references available on request, and then if an employer is interested, they'll have to contact you first. That allows you to think who the most appropriate person would be to give you a reference for that particular employment, but it also alerts you to the fact that they're going to get in contact with them. So you might want to ring that person first, remind them who you are and when you worked with them, and alert them to the fact that they are going to get a phone call or an email from a prospective employer. I hope that helps. Good luck with your applications. If you'd like to send me a copy of your CV, I'm very happy to give you comments on it. My email address is d.edmonds@leeds.ac.uk, and Edmonds is spelled EDMUNDS. Good luck. Take care. Bye-bye.